Here this time. Here we go. Hey, everybody. I'm Mike,
And I'm Vic.
and you're watching METS
Met
in
in
Florida.
Florida.
What's up, Vic?
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. Before we start this video, I want to do a slight moment of silence for the legendary Vin Scully. We just talked about him yesterday, right? Or
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah. How ironic.
That's so ironic. Yeah. Rest in peace, Vin Scully, and thank you for being the one to announce the Game 6 moment and the Game 7 moment, and being. I do consider him a part of Mets history.
I do too. I mean, you did hear his voice, you know.
I mean, he had the Brooklyn Dodger roots. I know he's associated with the Dodgers, but he is a big part of Mets history as far as I'm concerned. And
Hey, aside from our announcers who are fantastic,
didn't we
a
say
lot
that?
of announcers, especially ESPN announcers, can learn something from Vin Scully.
He's number
Who
one.
was the voice of the Dodgers, but when he called games, he didn't openly cheer. He was
No,
he
no.
he gave equal credit to both sides.
He was so professional, and again, I'm grateful that it was him, that it was the one that did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like I said, as far as, like we said the other day, not yesterday, but the other day, as far as booths go, I think we've always had the best. But as far as individuals, and even Gary Cohen said it last night, no one holds a candle to Vin Scully. Like, he was the man.
Very true.
So rest in peace.
Very true.
And had to get that out of the way because, you know, he definitely deserves that. But as far as yesterday goes, otherwise, what a day.
I can sum it up in one word.
What's that?
Underwhelming.
Underwhelming. Yeah, I know. Shout out to Ward. He said that too. The positive of yesterday was that DeGrom looked good, at least.
Yes.
It was good to see him healthy and pitching well.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, again,
And it was like he never left because
like
they didn't score.
No runs for
It was like he never left. He came in and they don't score for him. They score one run while he's in there. I was like, wow, just like old times. You know.
But I will say that one run coming off the bat of Lindor, like I said yesterday, Lindor is coming into his own now.
Yeah.
You know, he's on pace to have 25, 30 home runs, which is nice. Yeah. His average is creeping up. So that's good to see. But you're right. It's so frustrating, especially against the Nationals. Without Juan Soto in the lineup, without Josh Bell in the lineup. Like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Let's just say I got kind of loud watching that game last night because I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? Of all games, you're losing this game with the DeGrom pitching.
That's baseball for you.
Can't score for one run.
I know.
That horrible mistake by Guillaume when we had the second and third to get doubled up when the ball was in front of you.
I know.
You know, it's like, okay, you don't score the run. Okay, that's fine. But you don't make a double play.
When we had the second and third, and he was bunted over.
Yep.
Thinking, okay, we're trying to manufacture, and I was shocked because I wasn't watching the entire game because I was working, but the game was on the TV, and I'm like, we didn't get anything out of that. Like, what?
Nothing. I was like, that was like, oh, everything that we have been doing right went back to that crap. Let's see what happens today.
I know we got to bounce back today. Because then we got the Braves coming up. I'd hate to go into the Braves series with a series loss to the Nationals. What's that? Say that again?
Right.
No, I'm saying I'd hate to go into the Braves series having lost to the Phillies. Nationals. Yeah. So, but as far as the trading deadline goes, that added insult to injury. But I understand the players we got. They do fill needs. The numbers match, but you know, you kind of feel like you wish you could have done more.
Two problems that I saw with this.
Yeah.
And I saw the players that we gave up, and while they're lower level, people are really short-sighted. They're not looking into the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Darren Ruff trade was a serious overpay. When you start with JD, okay, you're giving them a younger player. Granted, DH Ruff is better at this point, fine. You should only add one player, not four. Not
Right.
four. He's not, it's like, I can understand where you're like, okay, we like him, he mashes lefties. I get it. Okay.
In a
But
vacuum, he's good. Yeah.
right. If you're going to give up four players, okay, you want more control, but the two lefties, one was a lottery pick. He was like, I think, if I check out the numbers here, I don't have it in front of me, but we did one with a 19th round pick who's having a really good year.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can see giving up, he did a really good year and he helped you get somebody. But the other guy was a 6th round pick. His fastball was hitting 99. He had already a really good slider and his ERA was about 2.5. Okay, with St. Lucie and Brooklyn. How do you give that up? For Ruff? No. You give that up for bigger quality player. And when I saw that, I was like, why in the world are you giving up 4 for him? I was like,
that is a lot.
You essentially put yourself as desperate. Now we don't know the wants of everybody else. And I didn't have a problem with giving Mauricio because Mauricio is he's blocked. But I'm going to give him up for somebody who we have a little bit of control over. I get it. I agreed about certain players.
Well, Ruff actually has more control than JD Davis does. That's the funny part.
Right. But he's also 37 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
And then, depending on who's going to be around next year and how he performs, everything's going to be how he performs. But I mean, the pressure's on because when the lefty's on, he better mash, because if he doesn't mash, this was a waste of a trade.
He's got the numbers for it.
Yeah, I mean, there was no, to me, the only way this, and they're going to have to get lucky, and I think it's too much. The trade of Givens was fine, but you needed another reliever. And they should be criticized for letting Robinson go to the Phillies. I saw what they give up to the Phillies. You could have beaten that offer very much and still not really hurt yourself that much.
Yeah.
You could have given them Jose Budo, who is a level up, showing success. Yes, it's a hit to your system, but you're getting a really good reliever. If you mix them up with Givens, I'd be happy with that. But after you give up Holderman, and I think they're banking on so much as far as McGill and Anderson and not Anderson, Peterson. Yes, they're banking so much on them. I hope it works. For once, I hope something like that works. But I don't want it to be we'll do this next time, because I think it's kind of a cop out when they use DeGrom coming back as, oh, that's like us trading for a big star. No, it doesn't. No, don't you, because we know going forward we have to be very careful with DeGrom going forward.
I know.
So it's not exactly.
I'm weird about that too. That
yeah, it's not exactly like we just got somebody who's healthy and everything's fine. No, I was like, no. And the same thing. We don't know what we're going to get in May, and you had relievers out there. And the thing was, we said this in the off season. You could have, if you think about it logically this way, we were going after relievers that we could have signed in the off season, would have cost us nothing but money. Yeah. We could have signed them. We were pleading for them to sign these people. So you decide not to go after these guys, but now you decide to trade for these guys, giving up, not only paying part of their contract, but giving them players when you could have got them for money. And please don't give me this thing about money, because money is on situation, because these guys were not $20 million a year guys. You could have got them. But that was disgusting, letting Robinson go back to the Phillies. He was like,
yeah, that disappointed me that he wound up there. That really did.
I think I was.
I don't think the Phillies are going to catch us, but at the same time, just to see him there is like,
yeah. It was just to see that. Let's just say the F-bomb was flying out of my mouth pretty often yesterday in the last hour of the trading deadline, because I couldn't believe.
A little frustrating.
I couldn't believe some of the people that were coming off the board that we could not.
I was hoping we were going to get the Tigers involved. Chafin,
Yeah, right.
Fulmer, and the other Soto, Gregory Soto. I was hoping we get one of those as an opportunity. I mean, here's the funny thing: when we did the video about the relievers, we did mention Givens on the list.
Right.
He was a middle name.
Right.
He does make sense, and on some level,
he's a good reliever, but he's not like an automatic shutdown.
No.
And if you look at that, I mean, if you really think about it,
he's in the middle.
Look how the Padres traded for Josh Hader. Okay.
Yeah.
If you knew there was a possibility of getting him, some of those guys that we threw in different trades could have been used for Hader.
Yeah.
We could have used, I mean, could imagine that back of that bullpen, Hader and Diaz. Come on. I was that was the only thing that I came away with this. The only thing I agree with them is not giving up some of these guys for rentals. I agreed. However, for the players you gave up, you could have come back with a better return. And I think he got taken by the Giants. And now it worries me about Epler going forward at the end of the year, if he's going to get taken again for a bigger player. And that he didn't instill any confidence in me between the trading deadline and that trade with the Yankees when we got Rodriguez, which we thought we scratched our heads on that one and we were right. Okay. He doesn't instill any confidence unless there's someone we bring in above him. And I'm not even thinking about Stearns because that trade for Hader is a head scratcher.
Yeah, a little weird.
Yeah, so I don't know about that one.
I mean, it's like you want to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
Then you got the guy on San Diego, Preller, who's the other extreme. Even though you understand why he's doing it because they never won before.
Right.
And he's depleting his system.
Right.
I mean, so I'm just
I don't know how
glad
they
we
keep
picked our
coming
top
up with
10
these guys. I don't know what they're doing out there because
they're desperate to win a championship.
But they have traded so many people in the last few years, and they keep coming with more. I'm like,
well, at least we know. Hey, we got our wish though. Soto did not go to the big ones.
Yeah, he went to San Diego. It would be very funny if he doesn't sign there.
He won't though. I would be shocked.
Well, let's see.
They'll make an offer, but there are other teams that'll outbid them.
Well, they already know they're going to have to get that $500 million mark. They have to start with there, and
by then,
that'll be,
by then when he's really established,
So that'll be because he'll be a free agent at 25, still younger than everybody else, and they're going to be, not going to be paying that much for him the next 2 years. And I can't believe they actually got rid of Hosmer. But they traded him, but they're picking up most of that contract.
They are.
Yeah. And in retrospect, we could have gotten rid of Dom for him. And even if we didn't keep him, we could have traded him off somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not a Hosmer fan, but I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? It was like we could have traded him off if we could have done that. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, there's been such misses because now we still have Dom. How is that even possible?
Amazing.
How is he still with this team? And you know what? Guess what? Bye-bye. You're in Syracuse. You're not on this team. I don't want to ever see him again. That's it. I was like, you had your chance. Go down there, rake for the rest of the year.
Increase your value.
Increase your value. We'll do you a favor and we'll get you out of here next year.
Yeah, it's a good play somewhere every day.
Yeah. So it's I was like, oh, I have been really this was really disappointing because
it was
a really good team.
I know.
It's the thing is that we're doing something that we stopped doing a while ago. Hope for the best kind of situation. We stopped doing that. Our whole team got put together, not for hoping for the best, but putting the best type of players together.
Yeah.
And I feel like this trading deadline, it's like hoping for the best, hoping that DeGrom is healthy and he's good all the way. Hoping that
That's a
Peterson
good point.
can make the transition to a reliever after the 5-game series with the Braves, which I don't know how it sets up when we go face the Braves in Atlanta.
Of the rotation?
Yeah, because for the
Carrasco, Walker,
sense,
Scherzer, DeGrom, Bassett.
it makes sense now to stretch him out because we're going to need him in this Brave series. After that, he's going to have to go to the pen. After this Brave series, he's going to have to go to the pen because when we get to Atlanta, when we face them again, it's a 4-game series. We have our 4 starters: DeGrom, Scherzer, Bassett and Walker, or Bassett and Carrasco, however they match it up on those 4. So we have them. We don't need Peterson, and I don't think we have any more 5-game stretches against the same team. So basically, from that point on, he is going to be in the bullpen, but he's going to be, we're going to have to. I don't know how they're going to work him in, but they're going to have to. And the same goes for McGill. He hasn't done it yet.
No, he's due back later this month, I believe.
Yeah, but I think I heard of 2 weeks. So I think they're going to use the bullpen as part of his recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, like based on like how he's throwing. If he's hitting, as he's throwing, if he's throwing his high 90s, I think they'll start to wean him in 3 batters here, 3 batters there, and use that as his the frequency of the rehab and seeing how he recovers. But that's banking a lot, and we don't have it. And we don't have anything down there. Nothing. We got guys that look good in Syracuse on the outside. They're still taking a chance. Like Orzi, he can look great or he can get lit up.
Right.
Dioka, another guy, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, 100, 101. He can. I saw the other day. I think he struck out 6 or 8 in a few innings, but he also gave up a run. So it's like, can you, maybe, catch lightning in a bottle? I don't know, but I don't know if these guys were even offered in trades. I don't know if people didn't like them. I don't know.
I also feel like we were saying, but once a few videos back, that it's not so much we're making the playoffs. It's just a matter of what we got when we get to the playoffs. And a lot of those, like you said, the Petersons, the McGills of the world, they're going to be, they're not going to be starters. They're going to be relievers.
Right.
Maybe they're thinking, okay, well, and I will say, speaking of our bullpen, of course, Diaz is number 1, but who's been extremely consistent is Ottavino. He's been way more than I expected at this point. Very consistent.
But here's the other thing.
He's going to be perfect, but
Here's the other thing. I hope they're not banking on Seth Lugo finding himself.
No, already. I don't think so.
I don't know.
Because he's not what he was.
Because from what I was reading, that he is the go-to pitcher against lefties. That's what I read this morning.
Is he? Well, yep. instead of Joe Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about
Lugo.
that?
That means he's. But I don't know, man. I really don't know.
You're gonna have Peterson as the guy?
No. Not really. It's maybe he can dial it up a little bit, but he looked like when they brought him in. Granted, it was one appearance, and they have to figure out. Maybe he just has to start throwing earlier in the bullpen.
Maybe.
Maybe he just can't get ready in however many pitches they give him in the bullpen. Yeah, because maybe. He looked like he wasn't hitting the strike zone, and he was wild in the strike zone.
Yeah.
And then he settled down. So that's telling me that you didn't warm up enough. You didn't get enough pitches. So they're going to have to figure it out. I don't know if there's is there a rule when they're in the bullpen of when you put them up and how many pitches they're allowed. I know there is when they get them into the mound when they come in, but I don't know if there is in the bullpen, because if that's the case, then you have to really but then here's the other problem. If let's say he needs a little bit more pitches to get warmed up in the bullpen before you bring him in, right? Now you're kind of telling who you're going to be using.
Right.
You're kind of you're telling the other team, this is who they're going to bring in next, because you can't go in there and have them pitch more pitches than the other relief pitchers and then not use them. You can't do that.
No.
But if you're doing it, then you're telling the other team, okay, how do we gonna give them a head start? How are we gonna fix our lineup now? Who we're gonna pinch hit because he's coming in?
That's true. Yeah. Oh my God, that's a good point.
So it's like you have to look at that as far as strategy, how much time he needs. Same thing goes for McGill. He's gonna do this. He's gonna be the same thing. Now both, I think, if you give them enough time to warm up, then yeah, it could work. But they're gonna save some of the other relievers, right? But they can't be used back-to-back days. So we're back to that again.
Right.
It's gonna be, if you're gonna bring them in, they might be going 2 innings each time. If they go in 2 innings each time, you're going to lose them for at least 2 days.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. No, right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because they can't come back with a day rest. It's going to be 2 innings, 2 days, 2-2.
Yeah, so they pitch like every third day.
Yeah, and then you really have to work it out as far as what you're going to do in those games against and the fact that the Braves came in and got Iglesias.
I always liked him.
They picked
him
up.
We get him.
Yeah, they picked him up, and we couldn't have gotten that. They gave one pitcher, and he wasn't that great. I'm like, and the Braves picked up the entirety of his contract. That's what I'm saying. We dropped the ball big time, because like, you tell me, when I saw that he was available, I said, jump on this guy. Jump on this guy.
Yeah.
There's your setup guy for the next 2 years.
I know. That's another one I was disappointed about. So he goes to a rival who does matter, the Braves. We're probably going to face him a lot this weekend.
Exactly. So
I
anyway,
don't know. It's we'll see what happens. I know this is only year one of a run. But I mean, we kept our top 10. That's part of it. It's probably going to happen. You're going to see Vientos soon.
But he's kind of blocked.
Yeah.
He's blocked by Ruff.
Is he?
Yeah.
Because he plays third, right?
Not well. Not well.
He just be the D. Well,
I mean,
I do think you're going to see him though.
You're going to see one of those, and I'm like, come on, Alvarez, because Alvarez to me, there's a couple of pivotal guys here. Okay.
Yeah.
One is May. If May finds himself,
that's what I mean. He could be dominant if he
can
find himself.
We're not asking you for being the whole year. Just from this point on to the rest of the
2 months,
just get hot.
Right.
Use him right. Like we said before, you can't use him for 2 innings at a time. You can't do that with him.
No.
If he has a quick inning, that's the only time you bring him in. The next day,
like a single-digit pitch inning.
Yeah. If that's the only time you ever consider it. Like if he had a really quick inning, but usually isn't, because he usually has a high pitch count. But if he happens to have a quick inning, don't pitch in the second one. You got him for the next day.
Right.
You can work him there, but you can't do it. But he's shown it over and over and over. You can't do it. No. But he can come in and shut these people down. I love his attitude. If he can, do that,
sure.
If he can do that, But again, we're working on ifs. You know,
A lot of it.
if McGill could get it down, that's a dominant arm in the pen. Hell yeah. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an if. We're asking these guys to do it. But really, the one I want to see and the biggest thing, and we've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And quite frankly, you can tell me all you want about the the pitchers like this catcher. You know what? When you got Patrick Mazeika there catching these guys, okay, do not tell me that Alvarez can't do the same and mash.
Well, and he caught them already in the minors.
And he did. So I was like, let him mash. He's starting to mash. Alvarez is starting to mash now. Okay.
Yeah, I know. He's finding himself.
If he gets a week going in and he's mashed him, no more excuses. Get him up, because you're gonna the way you have to think is you're gonna be faced with this problem next year.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be faced with this next year. It was like,
yeah,
get him in now.
Get him in now.
Get him in now.
Yeah.
And this kid has shown once he gets used to a level, there it is. So even if he comes back, even if he comes up and struggles, let's say for a week or so, right?
Patient.
Is it be patient? Is it any different than Mazeika? No.
And Mazeika's had his hits. That's the funny part.
Yeah,
He can do it.
Yeah. It's like I was looking at the numbers with McCann. He's doing McCann things in the minors.
Yeah.
You know, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know whatever happened to this guy. He looked like a good hitter. I don't know what happened, but you know, him coming back, you know,
yeah,
you know, it's like
I don't
not
know.
adding anything, you know, unless you know, something miraculous happened. But I want to see Alvarez up here.
Let me ask you, silly. This may be apples and oranges, but do you feel more confident in Alvarez coming up than you did Conforto coming up in 2015? Remember how everybody wanted Conforto to come up? I know they're two different hitters, but
I say equal.
Equal, right?
Yeah, I feel equal. I feel like once he gets going, he's one of those hitters. Is like he has shown once he gets going, he figures it out.
Yeah.
You know, and he was getting a little strikeout happy. Why? Because they weren't giving him anything to hit. They were pitching around them, and the kid's trying to impress the uppers, and he's trying to hit, you know, that 3-run homer on a pitch down and away that you can't really do that with.
Right.
So he was swinging at it. Then all of a sudden, I started seeing the box scores. What is happening? He's walking twice, walking 3 times, maybe 1 hit. I'm like, that's showing that he is not swinging for those.
No, he's
willing to
not
take
immature like in that regard.
Yeah. And what do we have? It's perfect environment to bring them up. All our guys work the pitchers. Our hitting coach will tell them, work the pitchers. You're not up here to be the star. Work the pitcher. That's it. You know, if you can't, we got somebody behind them. And he'll be hitting low in the order anyway. Who's behind him? Memo.
Right.
Yeah. It's like you go, if he rakes, you move him up in the lineup.
You're not going to hit him 5th right away.
That's why it's like I look at it as like you don't have anything to lose. You got a big gain here.
You really don't.
You can't tell me you're the number 1 prospect who is a catcher in your system who has now starting to figure out, you know, forget about, you know, he's hitting like not even 200, but it's only because he started off so low. He's, you know, if you look over the last week, his numbers are up.
Yeah, right. He's figuring it out.
You tell me he can't out hit. He can out hit every one of our catchers. Every one of them.
Oh, no, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
So it's like, come on. This guy, the kid's a game changer.
Yeah.
I can see him taking like what happens with these young guys. Yeah, with the pitchers that have come in, they'll respect them. They'll know he has talent. But what do they always do to rookies? They challenge them with fastballs.
Yeah, right.
Once they prove they can hit it, then they start throwing sliders and change ups and more of that.
That's right.
You know, as long as he stays within himself and not try to do so much, he takes the walk.
Yeah.
Takes the walk. But you challenge him with a fastball. This guy, I've seen him take an inside fastball tailing in, and I've seen him go the other way and hit it out. I don't even know how he did it, but he did it.
No, he's
I
done
know-
some crazy things that
I know we're kind of running down time.
I know, looking at it. Wow.
A quick
Going fast.
little, so let's hope they take the last game, that they arrive, get
4
ready.
o'clock today.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, get ready for the Braves. And one other that I didn't mention off air and mention it now. The rest of the guys, you keep them in the minors. We're gonna have guys who are gonna have 25 plus home runs at the end of the year. Okay, Alvarez, Mauricio, Beatty is getting close. I think he's got like 17. I'm trying to think if there was, and Vientos. Okay, all upping their value. The more they do, the less of them you got to give up when it comes to the end of the year, because we already heard the rumblings of Ohtani, and that's who we're going to be linked with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's see what
Think
happens.
so.
Yeah,
We'll find out. It's going to be interesting.
we find out. Yes.
And there's always Soto in the background 2 years from now.
Soto in the background, right?
Find the check.
Man, that Padre lineup is going to be tough.
2 years.
Yeah, that's a tough
Look,
lineup.
I can't blame it. If they don't win now, they're never going to win though. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it. You're
Yeah.
putting all your chips on the table right there.
Yep.
So we'll find out. I'm gonna remain optimistic because I do think we have a great team. We just gotta,
It's going to come down to, did we do enough? And did you give up too much? And that's gonna be told in a few months.
if Darren Ruff gets a game-winning hit in a playoff game, that will help.
Yeah.
They'll heal some, PTSD.
Yep.
But anyway, on that note, Vic, always good, always a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon. And on 3, 1, 2, 3, let's
go Mets.
And
Take care of business.
subscribe. Yes.
Take
All
care
right,
of business.
yeah,
Beat the
talk to you
Nats.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, like, subscribe, and let's beat the Nats and get ready for the Braves.
All
Yeah.
right. See ya.
Take care. Bye.